There are wounds we carry that do not bleed, but ache in silence. Wounds that no one sees, but we feel them every time we're alone with our thoughts. The hurt from a betrayal, the sting of cruel words, the hollowness left by someone's absence. These are not merely memories. They are echoes that reverberate through the corridors of our hearts, often for years. But let me ask you this. How long must we carry them? How long must we wear the chains of someone else's actions? Today, we explore the path of forgiveness, not as an obligation, but as an offering, not as weakness, but as a return to strength, not because the past can be rewritten, but because the future deserves a heart that's whole. 1. Forgiveness is not erasing. It's choosing what we no longer carry. To forgive does not mean to forget. It means choosing not to carry the same memory like a heavy backpack into every room we enter, every relationship we build, every joy we try to experience. Some believe forgiveness demands silence, that we must pretend the pain never happened. But forgiveness is not pretending. Forgiveness is presence. It is saying, I remember, but I choose peace anyway. Like a traveler who has walked long through a desert, forgiveness is the moment you put down the load and say, I do not need to carry this anymore to prove that it hurt. 2. The prison of unresolved anger. Unforgiveness is a quiet prison. It locks us in routines of thought, revisiting the wound, rehearsing the injustice, reimagining the perfect words we should have said, or the revenge we wish we had taken. The irony is, the longer we hold on to anger, the more we become tethered to the one who hurt us. It's as if we're dragging their shadow into every conversation, every new beginning. Have you ever tried to be joyful while secretly nursing bitterness? It doesn't work. A heart consumed with resentment cannot dance. The Buddha taught that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Freedom begins the moment we stop tending to the fire. 3. Understanding the pain of those who hurt us. To understand someone's pain is not to excuse their behavior, but it helps us stop absorbing their actions into our identity. Imagine a person lashing out in rage. Often, it is not power but fear wearing a mask. Sometimes those who hurt us do so from their own deep sense of inadequacy. They project their suffering like a shadow cast on a wall, touching everyone in their path. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, in this world, hatred is never overcome by hatred. Hatred is only overcome by love. This is an eternal law. This doesn't mean we must remain in toxic relationships, but it means we can wish others well from a distance and wish ourselves even better. For forgiveness is a gift wrapped in silence, offered to the self. So often we think forgiveness must be accompanied by a grand gesture, a conversation, an apology, a mutual understanding. But the deepest forgiveness happens quietly. It's the tear we cry alone at night, followed by the soft whisper, I release this now, not for them, but for me. You might never receive the apology you deserve. They might never acknowledge the hurt they caused, but you can still rise. You can still reclaim your breath. One woman who had been abandoned by her father as a child once said, I waited years for him to tell me why he left. One day, I realized that whether he explains or not, I am allowed to heal. Forgiveness doesn't always come with closure from others. Sometimes it's the door we build ourselves so that we can walk out. 5. The weight we don't know we carry. There's a saying, what you do not release, you repeat. Unforgiveness often turns into cycles, emotional patterns we play out with others who were never the cause. You were hurt by someone 10 years ago, and now you see the world through that scar. You assume new people will betray you, just like the old ones did. You build walls, not realizing they're not only keeping others out, but also keeping you in. Every unhealed wound becomes a lens that distorts reality. But every act of forgiveness cleanses that lens, and you begin to see clearly again, not through pain, but through presence. 6. You are not defined by what broke you. There is power in remembering this. You are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not the worst thing that ever happened to you. You are the one who survived it. You are the one who still feels, still hopes, still loves. Your pain may have shaped you, but it does not define you. In the Buddhist time, there was a woman named Patakara. She lost everything: her husband, her children, her family, and was driven mad with grief. But when she came to the Buddha, he did not see a broken woman. He saw her essence, her capacity to awaken. With gentle words, he reminded her that loss is part of life, but suffering is not a life sentence. She went on to become one of the most revered nuns, an arahant, completely free. Her story reminds us, our history is not our destiny. 7. True strength is the power to forgive. It is easy to strike back, easy to close the heart, easy to guard ourselves with cynicism and call it wisdom. But true strength is softness that refuses to harden. It is a heart that has every reason to be bitter, but chooses instead to be better. The world may tell you that forgiveness is surrender, but the truth is, forgiveness is mastery. To say, you will not shape who I become. You may have wounded me, but I will not be shaped by your darkness. That is power. 8. The Buddha and Devdatta, the triumph of compassion. Let us return to the Buddha, perhaps the most powerful example of forgiveness in spiritual history. Devdatta, once a follower, grew consumed by jealousy. He conspired to harm the Buddha in brutal ways, plotting his death multiple times. But what did the Buddha do? He continued teaching. He continued walking. He continued loving. When asked about Devdatta, the Buddha didn't curse his name. He said, even he, in some future life, may awaken. This is not naivety. This is the vision of one who sees beyond action into essence. 9. How to practice forgiveness. The path of the gentle warrior. Forgiveness is not a single act. It is a practice, a journey of return, a peeling back of the layers of defense until the heart breathes again. Here are ways to begin. 1. Write without fear. Write a letter to the one who hurt you. Say everything you wish you could, then burn it. Let the fire release what words cannot. 2. Sit in loving kindness. Close your eyes, breathe, and say, may they be safe. May they be free from pain. May I be free too. 3. Witness without judgment. Observe your pain as a teacher. Instead of fighting it, ask, what is this here to show me? 4. Bless your boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. You can love people from afar and wish them well without inviting their chaos back into your life. 10. You deserve a life not built on pain. You deserve joy. You deserve nights filled with peace, not thoughts of revenge. You deserve mornings that aren't colored by old memories. You deserve to laugh without guilt. You deserve to love without fear. And most of all, you deserve a heart that is free. So today, if forgiveness feels impossible, start small. Breathe. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, I am ready to let go. Not all at once, but one breath at a time. Because forgiveness isn't a moment. It's a movement, a returning, a remembering of who you were before the wound, and who you still are beneath it.